You're a cat and you're a dad, so basically you're a cat daddy. It's all rainy and stormy, you play with your friends and tickle their tails, but we don't say anything to each other because, well, we're f***ing cats. Then we run down this old mossy drainage ditch, and let me tell you something, this cat squad looks seriously badass. All the boys are jumping across this suspiciously wobbly pipe gap thing, and I'm like, alright, everyone else is doing it, so I can do it too. Except, we can't. This shit is broken. Puss, without boots, slips and falls down a huge hole, lands square at the bottom, and he's pretty messed up, to be honest. Kitty cat sleeps a little while and then gets up. He's like totally fine, I guess. We've fallen deep into this underground city, completely shut out from the outside world. We're strolling along and weird messages start appearing on screens, leading us to somewhere, telling us where to go. We make some sweet jumps and do some crazy cat stuff like knock this paint can over. Then some weird squishy thing shows up and tries to jump us. We sprint away, narrowly dodging these squeaky jelly beans. Eventually we find a window and jump inside. This game is pretty immersive though. Like after 10 minutes, you literally start to think like a cat. You know what? I'm gonna fuck this rug up. Then I start stepping on this keyboard. I was really just kind of messing around, and all of a sudden this creepy robot starts talking to me. The computer leads us to this room and traps us inside. Oh my god. We move some batteries around and knock this computer head thing off. Turns out it's another cute little robot guy. B12. He's a robot and a vitamin. I don't know how vitamins work. He hops onto our back and it's hella uncomfy, but he gives us sweet tools like this inventory and a flashlight. I meant flashlight. Next, we ride some buckets down alleyways, you know, living our life. Then out of nowhere, we come across a real-life robot. Well, not a really alive robot, or wait, that's probably insensitive. Maybe they are alive, or I don't know. I'm a cat, remember? Anyways, the robots get scared because they see this badass orange tabby walking the streets, and it's a little spooky. This guy with a cool hat decides he wants to take his chances and squares up. Motherfucker chose wrong. I'm going to claw his little robot screen smirk right off his little robot body. But he's chill, and he lets out this cool screech sound like he's straight out of Ace Ventura. He also tells everyone else that they need to be chill too. He tells us some interesting stuff about the outside, and if we want to reach it, we should probably talk to this guy named Momo. Oh, and I found this sweet bot with dreads, and I take a nap on his pillow. How cute. We go up to Momo. He's all sad because his friends escaped the slums without him, and he says it's too dangerous to follow. But if we want to do it, he'll give us one page of his notebook that he wrote on how to escape. But then we'll also have to find his friends' notebooks ourselves. I find all the pages to the notebooks and bring them back to Momo, who has a killer Komodo on, by the way. From the notebook, Momo discovers a way to communicate with his friends. I just do my cat things while Momo figures out a way to fix the transceiver thing. Then, Momo rudely interrupts my party and asks if I can help place the transceiver in a spot that gets better signal. And then the mother trucker closes me out. WTF, dude. You know what I think of that? Shit spook as fuck over here. I skirt around some rooftops and avoid these nasty little spongy guys. But ultimately, we have to go into this nasty, squishy Zerk hole. Yeah, the squishy boys are actually called Zerks, and they were created by some company in charge of getting the slums clean. They made some nasty bacteria stuff, and then it mutated, and now it eats metal. Nice. Anyways, didn't they learn anything from Horizon Zero Dawn? I mean, come on, that was like Game of the Year circa 2017. It should be like Shakespeare to these future guys, right? We get to this Left 4 Dead elevator style thing, and of course, the onslaught emerges. We speed around these stupid idiots for a good 5 minutes while the elevator slowly crosses its way down the side of the building. But it doesn't matter. I've played enough Call of Duty Zombies to run a train on these bitches for hours. Oh, that was close. Vitamins B12 remembers that the outside world was barren and nasty, so the humans built this city and closed it away as a place to keep safe. We came from the outside, so B12 deduces that it must be safe again. He says he's also certain that his mission was to open the city, and that's just what he's going to do. We meet Momo at the bar because he wanted to set up down there for some reason. He gets connected with one of his old buddies. Momo is told that his friends escaped through the sewers, and the bartender's like, hey man, none of my business, but that place is pretty dangerous. You probably shouldn't go. We lose connection with Momo's friend, and then the bartender mentions something about a weapon to fight the Zerks. One of the people in Momo's outsider group, Doc, created a weapon. He's gone now though, but his son is still around. So we go to his apartment and the kid Seamus is pretty sad about his papa. We do some cat stuff and somehow find a secret door. I meant yes, that is totally what I was trying to do. We find a tracker to locate Papa Doc, who's probably got the weapon because he went missing while he was testing it. We get to a bad part of town and Seamus chickens out instantly. I'm left to go in alone and get this man's papa. A pack of wild Zerks attacks, but they got nothing on these cat jukes. We go for a wild ride on this brittle cart and fly off for some massive airtime. We take a hard landing and sacrifice another one of our 9 lives. We've got to be at like 5 or 6 at this point. Our paw kind of hurts. We give it just a quick little lick. There you have it. Good as new. We find Seamus's papa in a house and he's just chilling. Doesn't look like he's trying super hard to get back to his son. Interesting. Doc's been stuck here because his gun didn't go as planned and now it's dead. He can't charge it because he's a slow little robot and there's Zerks about. He needs my kitty prowess us to follow the generator cords and get his stuff recharged. We plug this puppy in and Doc's flashlight gets fully charged. He mounts a few Zerks while I make my way back to his humble abode. Doc does us a solid and mounts the flashlight to B12. Sick. We escort Doc back to his home, and after some sketchy moments, we finally make it out of the nastiness. And right on the other side of the door is Seamus, waiting for us. It's a touching moment, and I legitimately shed a tear. Hey, fuck you guys. This cat game is sad, alright? Now it's time to follow Momo into the sewers. But I've got one more thing to do before I go. Go Pat. Momo feels pretty confident in the sewers here with me, he says, but he forgets that I'm literally just a cat. Albeit with a badass robot friend, but still just a cat. After I successfully open the first gate, we continue through the sewers. We reach a second gate, and now it's Momo's turn to open it, except he blows it up. We've got to open it manually now. And to my surprise, Momo tells me to go on without him. He's going to be left to the metal-eating Zerks. He says, tell my friends that I was brave. This freaking game, man. We fight off some more Zerks until we come to this room with giant eyeballs and creepy techno music. Zerks start popping out of every corner, and we sprint down the hallway, narrowly escaping by jumping through this opening onto a rusty pipe. We creep into this room painted with red light. Then on the far wall, the mother eyeball is peering away at us. She gets angered and sends a bunch of Zerks after us. We're surrounded. The Zerks start attacking, and B12 goes into full rampage mode and starts melting Zerks left and right. But the motherfucker is holding the button too long. This is why I need to control it. The light explodes and knocks B12 unconscious. I jump into action and swipe him up like the little cat daddy that I am, sprinting away. Zerks start jumping out of the walls, trying to latch onto us, but not this kitty. We spot a closing door with flashing red lights on it a few hundred feet away. We twist off our little kitty nos and speed under it right before it closes. Well, not really. I think there was plenty of time left. You guys probably could have made that slightly more climactic. I paw at V12 Motorsport a couple times to wake him up. You know, just a gentle little nudging. He tells me he drew too much power and it knocked him out. Oh, and also that he's destroyed our only weapon. What the fuck, dude? You're not allowed to touch any of my stuff that you control with your body ever again. We finally come across another robot village in the sewers called Ant Village or something. A greeter tells us that Zanzibar is waiting for us at the top. Me and B12 come across this time capsule looking thing, and he has an epiphany. He remembers that a scientist once upon a time used something like this to upload his consciousness into a computer. But something went wrong and he was stuck like that for 100 years until an orange little tabby cat rescued him. Wait a minute, he says. It was me. B12 was once a human. Damn, talk about dropping straight bombs, B12. And this also explains why you're so good at fucking things up. We make it to the top of the tower and see Zeralter, and he's hooked himself up to about 20 different monitors for some reason. He tells us that he knows we're cool because we've been hanging with Momo, and if we want to reach the outside that we should talk to Clementine in Midtown, the other person in their little outsiders gang. We climb up a little higher in Ant Village and scoot on out of there. B12 reveals that he used to ride the subway and that he had a family. He says he uploaded his consciousness for his family so that they could see the outside world again. He wonders what happened to them. We reach Midtown and it's much scarier than the slums. Kind of ironic. Asking around some of the scary robots, we learn that Clementine is on wanted posters and is hiding with some sort of resistance group. We search around a little bit, knock some cameras down, and get this guy's new album. It was $25, but trust me, this guy's going to blow up and these albums are going to be worth some money. We eventually find this rundown boarded up apartment. We sneak inside and what do you know, Clementine is here. She's being hunted by the scary robots because she wants to go outside and they say it's dangerous, so they lock everyone up who tries to. Clem tells us we need an atomic battery for some reason. She says this dude with a gold chain by the factory can help us. And to sneak gold chain guy in, he needs a helmet and a worker jacket. First, we smash this guy in the head with some beer bottles. Why? Because we're a cat and it's fun to do bad things. After some handy cat work on my part, we collect the proper attire for Gold Chain Man to sneak inside the factory. Gold Chain distracts the worker and we sneak past some flying robots, roll a barrel through some lasers, and command a robot copier army to swipe this atomic battery. Shit goes down and the alarms start blaring. We quickly escape the factory via this handy dandy bucket. We navigate back to Clem's apartment building and it's crawling with the flying shock robot. Clem had to book it, but she left secret notes around her apartment that tell us she's hanging with the Gold Chain guy at the nightclub. What? No one told me there was a nightclub in this town. We show up and the bouncer's not feeling our cat vibe and we have to sneak in through the back. Typical. Alex with the cool hat is nice to us and lets us come inside to party. Let me tell you, this place is wild. They've got ravers, dramatic pants, Daft Punk, and literally Siren Head. After some finagling, we finally make our way up to where Gold Chain is hanging out. We stroll on in and it turns out Gold Chain backstabbed us. He sold Clem and me out to the Sentinels. Gasp! The flying shockers show up out of nowhere and throw us in prison. They strip us of our robot gear and put us in a tiny cage. Those dumb idiots, they should know no cage can hold me for long. We break out and learn that this robot jail borders on American Horror Story levels of weird-assery. We locate Clem and break her out too. She starts unlocking doors with the keys that we got her, and then we spot our old buddy D12. Oh no, not that Eminem band, I meant B12. He's all locked up in a heavily guarded cell. We dodge all the shocky bots and disarm his entire thing. He falls limply to the ground. We snag our buddy and fly around the bad guys like a bat out of hell. We make it back to Clem, and B12 jumps back to life. Thank God. We get to a gate that's locked, and the only way through probably is to use this truck to make a lot of noise. The Sentinels wake up and are hot on our tail. Get it? Because we're a cat. Anyways, I use serpentine patterns to confuse these stupid-ass flying robots. They're getting close, but I squeeze out one last jump to hop onto the back of this truck. Me and Clem blast through Midtown like it's going out of style. We get to the elevator, and she shuts the gate behind me, leaving her on the opposite side. She says that we'll never make it out together, and that she has to distract those evil flying robots. Clem says that we are an outsider now, and the outsiders knew from the beginning that not everyone was going to make it. It's just about someone making it. That shit hit me hard. This whole game, people have been sacrificing their little metal bodies to get me back to the outside. These freaking bots don't even know me. I mean, I really only meowed at them and knocked their shit off their counters. I walk my little kitty paws to the generator room and power up the subway car. A spooky subway ride ensues, and we're led to a suspiciously calm station filled with helper bots. Entering the engineer room, B12 reveals his final memory. A plague plagued the earth and wiped out all of the humans. He watched his family die, and the engineers, the humans that built all this, did nothing to help the rest of humanity. B12 says that he'll carry the memories of his people with him, and that we'll both go outside. We open the city by doing what we do best: hacking and scratching. Each subsequent hack and scratch, B12 gets a little weaker until finally his little robot body gives out. He says to carry him to the final computer. B12 knew that his body wasn't going to make it, and that no, we weren't going outside together. He says that we were his friend and thanks us. He presses the final button and melts his tiny AI software. He's gone forever, falls to the ground like a little toy, and Kitty Cat cuddles up next to him. Oh my god, this game is so sad! The blast doors open up to a blue sky overhead. It shows each of our companions we traveled with, and they're still alive. There's Momo and Clem, and that dude with the staff. Oh, and those nasty Zerks just pop away, just kind of like that. Fucking whatever. Oh, they're so easy to kill, huh? We slow walk on out of this bitch and stand majestically in the sunlight. Oh, and right before the game cuts to black, a foreboding screen flickers on. What the frick could that mean? Oh, and where's my cat family? How am I supposed to be a cat daddy without my cat family? 9 swishy cat tails out of 10. Blue 12, please tell me how these bots are procreating little son and daughter bots. Thank you.